Welcome to Mel's Diner, a place where stories and songs build community and connections. My name is Matthew Merson, and each guest at Mel's Diner heads over to the Jukebox, selects really important, sentimental, and valuable songs to them, and then shares those stories of how each song gained that personal and powerful meaning in their life. So let's order some food, a cup of coffee, and grab a seat at the counter and listen to some of those amazing stories and songs. I'm so glad you're here. So this week I was listening to some new music and I heard a song that stopped me in my tracks. I had to stop listening to the song, start it over, and really pay attention to the lyrics because the lyrics of the song grabbed me because it was something that I've felt in my heart and my soul, but I've never quite been able to put it into words the same way that the lyricist of the song or the writer of the song had done. And I thought it was so beautiful to have that feeling, to have that moment of connection on a personal level with music that, yes, I feel the same way. And I couldn't say it any better than what this song is. I don't know if you've had that same experience or if you've had that experience with other forms of art or visual art or film. But when you have that feeling, when you have those moments, they can be very powerful because you feel like you are seen or something rings true to you through some external art form. And I want to share that song with you. And it led me to this new idea here at Mel's Diner. Every episode where we have a guest come in sharing their important sentimental songs and the stories behind those songs, all of those song selections are going to be made into a playlist that you'll be able to listen to before and after and during each episode. But I wanted to make a playlist of my own every week. Mel's Diner started this way by me putting out some curated playlists of songs that I thought were really cool and were worth hearing. But starting now, you'll see another playlist, kind of going back to that. I'm calling it Mel's Picks. So there are now two playlists that will be showing up for each episode. The guests' Jukebox Picks, which is their songs rounded out to 10. And then a second playlist called Mel's Picks that you can listen to on your own. There are going to be 5 songs every episode that are curated, just either cool music that I have discovered or just some great songs that just fit the vibe here at Mel's. So without further ado, here are Mel's picks for this week. The first one is from the new Black Keys album, 2026 album entitled Peaches. I love this track, Firemen Ring the Bell. This whole album is the Black Keys just doing what the Black Keys does best, reinterpreting or just making hill country blues sound so contemporary, so awesome, so just in your face. They do such a good job, and this track, Firemen Ring the Bell, is just perfect. Loud, rowdy, hill country blues. It's so good. The whole album is phenomenal, but I really love this track. Track number 2 is I'm People by Hiss Golden Messenger. This album also came out just a few weeks ago. This is the title track to that album, I'm People. And in this interview, we're actually talk about this song. This isn't one of our guests' selections, but we do talk about this song. And I think you should definitely check out this song and the entire album. Track number 3 on Mel's Picks is Summer Brings the Sunshine. I live in South Carolina. Summer is here. If you live in South Carolina or in the South, summer is now here. Summer Brings the Sunshine by Jimmy Carter and Dallas County Green. This is from a 2016 album. This is amazing cosmic country music. It's so great. It just makes you want to get in the car and just drive somewhere where there's not a whole lot of people around and just listen to this album. But this song reminds me of just the goodness of all the summer and all the things that we love to do in the summer. Anyway, this song's amazing. So definitely check this out and that whole album. Track number 4 on Mel's Picks is Wish You Well by Marlon Funaki. This is from his 2026 EP, his latest EP called Half Moon. This song, I'm putting this song on this week's playlist because a few weeks ago, my son, he and I went to see Marlon Funaki here at one of our local music venues called the Poorhouse, and it was incredible. Marlon Funaki's music is so good. My son turned me on to this guy, and I am so grateful. The concert was incredible. It was so cool. Definitely check out Marlon Funaki. And this one off of his new EP is probably my favorite off that EP. And it's a really good gateway, really good taste of what Marley Funaki, just his musical style and his sound. I think you're gonna dig it. And then finally, Kevin Morby with Little Wide Open. This is the title track to his brand new album, which just came out a few weeks ago, called Little Wide Open. This is the song that stopped me in my tracks earlier this week. This song, what he says in the song is something that I can relate to on a personal level, and it's just a magical moment when that happens. So this whole album, Little Wide Open, is incredible. I highly recommend you listen to this full album in its entirety. But for now, we'll just start with this song, Little Wide Open, the title track to this. So there you have it, 5 songs this week, Mel's Picks. You can listen to these tracks on a link in the show notes. You'll see Mel's Picks. There's going to be one that is a Spotify playlist, one for an Apple Music playlist. But right above that, actually kind of more important, maybe hopefully while you're here, is to hear our guests' selections and hear her stories. So we have an amazing episode, amazing interview with my dear friend Heather. There are some songs that she picked, and she's going to tell some phenomenal stories. You're going to hear songs about how this music has affected her. It reminds her of her family, her father, her husband, her daughter. Just an incredible interview from an incredible person. Can't wait for you to hear it. All of her selections are there in the show notes as well. So you'll see Heather's picks, both Spotify and Apple Music playlists for you. So definitely check out those songs. Listen to Heather's songs first. Listen to her stories. Listen to her songs. Those songs will probably take on new meaning for you, as they have for me, because that's what Mel's does. It makes us feel connected through these stories that our guests share. And then when you're done that, if you want a little bit more, you can check out Mel's picks, those 5 tracks. I highly recommend. Anyway, hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks for coming in. Let's hear some amazing stories and some amazing music. Welcome to Mel's Diner. I'm so glad you're here. Why don't you grab a seat, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're calling from, or where you walked in from, I should say. And tell us a little about yourself.
Table for one, here I am. So I'm Heather McCoy. I am an old friend of Matt and Michelle's from when we all lived in Vermont, which was a really sweet time. And I live in Kansas City, Missouri with my husband, Tim, who works for the USDA, and my daughter, Vivian, who is 10. We lived in the Northeast for quite a few years, about 13 years. And then in 2019, we moved back to Kansas City, where we're both from, to be closer to family. And I think we have a shared love with you all of music and similar artist styles, and just an appreciation for how music can shape your life, change your life, make it better. So I'm just super stoked to be here.
Well, I'm super stoked you're here.
I've been a big fan. I'm an OG with Mel's.
You are an OG, Heather. I think you were on that list of people that I used to text my playlist links out to before even when Substack happened. And I was like, I cannot text like 50 people every Thursday morning anymore. I got to figure out a way that the computer can do this. But you grew up in Kansas City?
Yeah. So I grew up in Kansas City. Tim grew up here. And then, like a lot of people, were like, we got to get out of here. And honestly, if we hadn't had our daughter, we probably wouldn't have come back, because we just really love the Northeast, and hopefully we'll retire there. We keep trying to tease Vivian that like she should go to college, like somewhere that direction, and we'll just follow her. We'll be those parents. But we're here now, and yeah, grateful.
You're here now. Your family's healthy, happy, thriving. You love, yes. And you do have I know a lot of your personal story. You have family members that are there and are there to watch your daughter grow up, your beautiful daughter, Vivian.
Yeah.
But growing up in Kansas City, Kansas City is a music town, right? Like
it is a music town.
Yeah.
Lots of jazz, blues and jazz. That whole district is actually kind of been revitalized. So it's probably booming like it was, back in the day.
Wow.
Which is awesome. In fact, Tim's cousin is a saxophone player, and he plays around with some pretty big names. So we'll get to go see people, which is really, really cool.
That's amazing. What was when you were growing up, was music a big part of your childhood growing up in your household? Or when you were a teenager, did you know, hide CDs that you weren't allowed to listen to? Like what was music like as a young Heather growing up in Kansas City?
Yeah, that's a good question because it's super interesting. So I come from a really musical family. My mom plays the piano. She still teaches piano lessons. And my grandfather led worship at the church that my dad grew up in the south side of Philadelphia. And my grandmother was the church organist.
Oh,
My
wow.
dad is leads the church service at the church that I grew up in, and my mom plays the piano. So very musical family. My dad grew up in Philadelphia at a time where he was surrounded by just like Motown. So that's actually my first song is I grew up with a lot of Motown in the music,
Okay.
in our house,
Yeah,
because that's what my dad liked. But then my parents got a little more conservative. And
sure.
so music didn't flow as freely. So I did have to like kind of go undercover with some stuff. Um, I don't really feel like I found kind of like who I don't know what the word would be, not who I am musically, but I think Tim kind of helped because Tim was super into music when I met him. I think that was like a therapy for him. So
Mm.
that's kind of when I started to realize, oh, I have some like control over this and I can like whatever I want. And so yeah, I think I have a varied interest in music and a lot of it depends on my mood, just how I'm feeling that day.
I can totally understand that. But so growing up Motown, but then became more conservative. So did music shift from like more popular music, secular popular music to more, church or
Yeah,
gospel or hymns
like
or,
lots of Amy
yeah.
Grant,
Okay. So
lots
this
of
is,
Christian
okay.
Christian music. Yeah.
So yeah, because there was a time when Christian music became, I don't want to say mainstream, but it just became very
Oh yeah,
prevalent. And there were artists
definitely.
at that time, maybe 80s, 90s
Yep.
time frame. Yeah. I was the same way. I grew up in a house. And if you're listening to Mel's, you've probably heard some of my parents talk about music, especially when I was growing up. But yeah, it's a very faith-based household. So a lot of music was around that. But like you, I was like, there's more music out there, and there's some really,
Yeah.
really great music out there that we discovered on our own. It's not like you discovered, I discovered on my own. And honestly, here we are, however many, we're not going to say how many years later, but
We're
many years,
not.
a few years later,
A few
a
years.
few years later, and here we are. We're still discovering music. And because I know you and your husband, you're passing that gift, that passion, that ability on to your children, as hopefully I am to mine as well. So
She has no choice.
she,
She has no say in the matter.
your daughter, she's in elementary school, right? Late
Yeah,
elementary.
she's
Yeah.
in
So
fourth grade.
she probably has the best music taste of anyone in the fourth grade
I'm
in
surprised
Kansas
she's
City.
not trying to get on this show. She'll
Well,
probably try to interview
at Mel's
me.
Diner, we welcome anybody of all ages.
All
We
ages.
we do not discriminate anybody. Um, and yeah, so I think you touched on it a little bit, but your music today, you're discovering you and I share a passion for a lot of the similar artists, a lot of great
Yeah.
music, which is why you're an OG, because I knew that because I knew you would appreciate some of the music that I discover.
Yeah.
But your house, is there music is constantly playing? Who are you picking the music? Your husband loves me, your daughter. Who's choosing the songs when you're cooking dinner or
Ooh,
doing the dishes? Like what's music
that's a
like in your
tough
house now?
question. I'm about to air some dirty family laundry here
Oh, this is
because
Mel's. I mean, you're allowed. This
this is a
is a
safe
safe
space.
place. Yeah.
But on the daily, there is some sort of, I won't call it an argument, but we tease Tim that he's a little controlling with the music. It's usually something that Tim wants to hear. And so now Vivian is trying to lay down some rules that like
Mm,
everyone gets a night or you get a song and then I get a song
I love that.
because she feels like it's out of balance. And
Okay.
so, but music is on nonstop, like until everybody gets ready to go to bed, but it will have been on all day.
I think you use Spotify too. Like your Spotify Wrapped has got to be in the hundreds of thousands of minutes
I,
every
I'm telling you,
December.
and
Yeah.
now you know that Vivian's involved. she's got her music that she likes, and so that's like another kind of element. She's very particular, and so it's interesting.
Well, first of all, I love that. And I also love that she's advocating for herself as a fourth grader.
She's a strong woman.
But knowing her mom, not surprising. Not surprising. Like she's gonna stay like, hey, it's my turn, Dad. Like
Equity
we are
is
not
very
listening to
important to
Wilco
her.
anymore. We're
No,
turn Jeff
no.
Tweedy up. I mean, I
Tim
love
gets
Jeff
away
Tweedy.
with nothing.
Yeah. Good. She should hold that man accountable. I mean, and you know what? And I know your husband well enough to know that he's better for it. He's better
He
because
is.
yes, he is better for it. His musical taste is changing because he loves his daughter and he loves his wife. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
amazing. Well, you have some songs. I
Yep.
mean, we have a jukebox, I should say. You're about to walk over to the jukebox and
I
select
love it.
your songs. We have a jukebox that plays every song in the world, almost every
So
song in the world.
amazing.
But before we do, one question: before we get going, we are at a diner, and it is 11:31 p.m. or a.m.
Yeah.
What would you like to eat? What's your diner order? You're at a diner. We can cook you anything. Let's sit at the
Oh,
counter.
I'm gonna go with some sort of breakfast, like just basic, some scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, coffee, lots of coffee.
All right. I will get
Sounds
your,
great.
and first of all, that's not basic. That's an incredible diner counter service
Right?
order. And that's exactly what I would want at this moment as well. But while I cook up your breakfast for lunch, you can
Yeah.
go over to the diner and pick your songs.
Awesome. I love it.
Heather, welcome back. You may have alluded to it. You said your first song was Motown. What was your first song choice?
I did. So it's I Second That Emotion by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. A favorite of my dad's. And so anytime I hear this song, or if I want to think of my folks or childhood memories, I put this on and it just makes me happy. It's just a happy song.
It makes you happy because it reminds you of your folks, or it reminds you of good times with your folks.
I think both. I think probably it probably especially reminds me of my dad, and I think daughters and dads have like a special relationship. So I think that just kind of always touches my heart a little bit when I hear it. And then I just remember it being on.
Was
Yeah,
this one of his favorites as well?
he loves this song. Yep. And I think when you hear it, like if we were to hear this song together right now, he and I think what I love is that the song also brings back his memories. So he'll talk about like growing up in Philadelphia. My grandparents owned a Hallmark store like right in Center City.
Oh my goodness.
And so he'll just talk about like, what was his life growing up and what did the music mean to him. So I love how it carries on.
But I love that okay, so you have this connection that reminds you of your dad, but your dad has this connection of Philadelphia, of him growing up in that
Yep.
in that city.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with this song. This song you can play at any time of the day. I think it can
Absolutely.
be in the morning. It can be any atmosphere. You can be in an urban environment. You can be in a suburban environment. You can be in a home doing the dishes. Like this song hits like no matter what vibe or how you're feeling. So I can envision, maybe in the, 60s or 70s or whenever your dad was growing up, like this
Yep.
song fitting that in my mind anyway, that scene, that feeling of inner city Philadelphia that time. And now,
Yep.
Kansas City having this, it is a very, I don't know this. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, Motown in general has that effect,
Oh gosh,
but
absolutely.
but I love how this song not only reminds you of your dad, but your dad would it reminds your dad of his stories. That's
Yeah.
that I don't know. Well, I do know of a couple songs that made me personally with my dad as well, but that's such a beautiful thing. And thank you for, as a daughter yourself, thank you for saying that
Yeah.
daughters and dads have a good connection, because that's something I have with my daughter, but she's a teenager, and she
Yeah.
doesn't let me know all the time that we have a great relationship, but I know it's there, and I know that
It's
she knows
there.
she's loved, and I know that I'm loved by her, and but she's also
Yep.
becoming her own beautiful person. So
Exactly. Yeah.
awesome. Well, okay. What do you got for number two?
So this is probably gonna like throw some people, but Hysteria by Def Leppard. So
We are all thrown. Yes.
when I chose my song, so I turned 50 this year. And so I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to kind of do like a little bit of like the arc of my life, like music that's kind of been important to me kind of almost like a gift to myself. So Hysteria was a song. So I went to college in Lookout Mountain, Georgia, and I had a friend who had a white Toyota Tercel, and we would just go and just drive around. And somehow this song became our song. And so it had a tape deck. She would put the tape in, and this song would come on. And this is one of those songs that like I feel the memory in my body. Like I can
Wow.
physically feel myself like in that seat with the sunroof open and the windows down and just like, singing and screaming at the top of your lungs. And just, when you're in college, it's just like so much freedom, that feeling of freedom. I can't say I'm a huge Def Leppard fan, but this song is just such a sweet memory for me.
I absolutely love that, Heather. I love that the power that this song has over you. And yes, I
Mhm.
mean, say what you will about Def Leppard, but
Could
it
be
doesn't
argued.
matter. It doesn't
It
matter
doesn't
who it
matter.
doesn't matter who is singing it. What matters
Yeah.
is that first note or those first notes or this, and it is a banger. It is an
Isn't it?
80s banger. Yes.
80s gold.
In fact,
So
I
good.
in full disclosure, I listened to this a couple of days ago because you sent me your
You're
list and
welcome.
I was driving. It was a first for me hearing this song.
Yeah.
And I was driving and I thought, I wish I was in like some 80s, like old school Corvette, red, top
Yes.
down,
It's a
like
road trip
the
song.
weird, like,
Yes.
yes, I just imagine this car and the song, and you've
Yep.
experienced that. You live that in
Oh,
the moment.
yes. And
What
I'm
a
always taken back to that moment when I hear it. Like I'll never think of anything else. And I love that.
well, okay, so they describe this moment. Was the sun up? Was the sun down? You said look up mountains. So is it mountainous terrain?
So
Like,
yeah, so I went to a Christian college, a Presbyterian college, and it was on top of a mountain. Beautiful. Amazing. And we would just pop the sunroof out and we would just like go for a drive, down the mountain, kind of switchback type road and just full blast. It was, and the other thing is that it was just like it was our song. So I will also always think of her, and I'm not in touch with her anymore, but I just, it's nice to like have a music bring you back to a particular person.
well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. So I can see you guys like ripping cigs or something while you're driving. Listen.
I had a little too much fun at college.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. You were, yeah, I'm sure you were. But anyway, we won't have to get into any other what you were doing in the car. But yes, this
That's right.
car driving, listen to this. Oh my gosh, Heather,
Yeah.
I want to be there with you. And
I
when
know.
we
I want to go back in time just for like a minute and just, have that feeling again.
amazing. Well, we have this story now. Thank you for sharing that. And when
Yes.
we listen to this song, which everyone should know, all of your jukebox selections are going to be in a link here in the show notes of this episode. But when we listen to this song, we're going to be in that car with you. And it's going to
Right?
be not, it's going to be our vision of that car, our vision of that, but we're going to
Exactly.
be with you. And I know our listeners can't see you. You have beautiful long blonde hair. The sunroof is
You.
open.
Oh,
Where else would we want to be besides, what, after we eat our scrambled eggs at this diner, let's just get in that Toyota
just
Tercel
go
and
for
just
a
drive
drive.
around and listen to Def
I love
Leppard.
it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you got track number 3. What did you choose here?
Okay, so track number 3 kind of like takes me to like when I met my husband Tim, and it is Could You Be Loved by Bob Marley and the Wailers. I'm already getting a little choked up. Um, so I have been married for almost 22 years.
Congratulations.
Um, Thank you. I met Tim in actually it was the Y2K party, so 1999, 2000. And he was a total wild man. He's not not anything like he is now. He was a total crazy person. So he had a rough kind of childhood, and I think Bob kind of saved him. In fact, I wish you could see my guest room. We have a giant picture of Bob Marley just behind me off to the side that I got him framed. But Bob kind of saved him and his music. So when I met him, he was listening to a lot of Bob Marley and the Wailers. And this song just reminds me of like when we met, and it brings out a lot of joy in Tim. So when he hears it, he's just like kind of wild man Tim again. And I just think it speaks to how music can almost be like therapy or a therapist, you know? It can kind of get you through certain times in life that might not always be super joyful and, ponies and rainbows. And I think that's what Bob did for Tim. So I just I think about Tim when I hear this song. I think about us dating. And I always have like a little moment of gratitude for Bob and like his music, because I'm sure Tim's not the only person that obviously was affected by his music. So
Well, thank you, Heather, for sharing that. I just love that there's this song that you're not going into what your childhood was like, but you understand that the person that you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with, maybe their upbringing, like this song brought them comfort before you even knew before you even
right.
knew him.
Yeah,
And by knowing his story and knowing his connection to not only this artist, but this specific song, it's like what you said, gratitude and appreciation. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what I'm
no,
hearing you
absolutely.
say. And I think that is, I think that's just wonderful, just beautiful, Heather, that as his wife, that you also you cherish this song, not because of something you experienced, but because you cherish him. And
Absolutely. Yep.
uh, that that just moves me, Heather. Like
Oh, good.
that's really, really
Love that.
sweet. And we all interpret art, or we all associate art that connects with us on different levels. And this is just proof that this is one of those levels that,
Yeah,
yeah, it's almost like you're vicariously living through the experience of joy that Bob Marley brought to your husband. But because you love him so much, it also brings you so much joy. And I don't know,
absolutely.
that's incredible. It really is incredible. And yes, I mean, I think the world can thank Bob Marley
Oh,
for different
so much good
reasons.
music.
Absolutely. Um, you said you were feeling
I'm
some
okay.
emotions.
I
I don't
have
want to push
composed
you if you want.
myself.
Okay. Do you want to keep going, or do you want to move on to the next song?
No, I mean, I think I'm good. I mean,
Okay.
it's just a good solid song too, right? Like just makes you happy.
Yes. And you know what? He might be listening to this, but
He
when
better.
Vivian's like, "Hey, Dad, it's my turn to play a song," how sweet would it be? And maybe she's already
Oh my
done that. Maybe she
gosh.
knows
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
But
She usually sticks to her stuff.
oh,
She's not super thoughtful when it comes
so
to the
she's got a little
music.
bit of you, but she's also got a lot of her
She
dad in
got a
her
lot
too. Yeah,
too.
so I know it's my turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that. All right, so you got so we were at number four, track number four.
Number four is These Days. Now this song has different artists that have covered it, and I kind of rotate through them. I do love this Nico version. She, if people don't know, she sang with the Velvet Underground. She was like that super cool, like 60s kind of Andy Warholish type crowd. And her voice is so interesting. I've just never heard another voice like her. And I think because her voice is so clear and crisp, you can really kind of latch on to some of the lyrics. And I think this song kind of comes in and out for me through the years. And right now I've been listening to it because I think I'm aging. And she's got a line that's like, I go out walking. I don't do much talking these days. And I think I've been feeling really quiet lately. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, the world feels a little heavy right now. So that line really gets me. And then she says, I think about all the things that I forgot to do,
Mm.
a version of that, you know? And so I think, again, like I'm getting older. And so I'm a little bit introspective. And so I think about, like, have I done everything? Like, I get that lyric. Have I done everything that I want to do? So this is a song that just means a lot to me because I think it makes me really kind of like stop and think. And I love the lyrics in it.
Thank you for bringing up the lyrics. And I don't want to critique this song, but I want to get back to how this makes you feel. But just on that topic of her lyrics, or the lyrics of the song, I'm not sure if she
Yeah,
wrote this song, or who
I don't
actually
know
did, but
either.
the last two lines of the song may be the greatest lyrics of any ending of a song,
Of a
right? Like
song.
it's
Hmm.
I don't have it memorized, but like, don't remind me of all my failures. I
Yep.
am aware of them. Like,
Yes.
like how
Right.
that's the last lines. Like, don't tell me
Yeah.
about how I met. Like, yeah, this is who I am. This is how I feel in this moment. Don't remind me of the things I've done in the past. I know what I've done. Like, it's to end the
Exactly.
song like that. It's it's so incredible, and you're so introspective. And anyway, that yes, the lyrics of the song are, if we should all read them, while we're listening
Absolutely,
to this, yes,
yes.
because it's incredible poetry. But well, do you want to say any more about Nico, or
No, just go
okay,
listen to the song if no
go
one's
listen
heard
to the
it.
song. Track number 5. Pretty interested in the story here, Miss Heather.
Oh, there's a
What's track
story.
number
Don't you
5?
worry. So, track number 5 is Lover by Taylor Swift. So, this is definitely going to make me cry. So, sorry, everyone. So, obviously I was aware of Taylor Swift, but I really did not start listening to her much until I had Vivian. And then Vivian started listening to her. And then Vivian became a little Swiftie. And then I my mom, like, crowning achievement is that I got us tickets to the Eras tour. I sat in the queue for 6.5 hours, got us tickets, surprised her for Christmas, and her and I went to one of the nights here in Kansas City at Arrowhead, where Travis Kelce plays. Just so everyone knows, little shout out there. And I have to say, without a doubt, it was one of the most incredible nights of my life. I will never forget it. People can say what they will about Taylor, but she is an incredible singer, songwriter, and just a curator of an experience at a concert. I've never experienced anything like that. And to be in a stadium full of people that were so loving and so supportive, so kind to my daughter. Everyone was just, I don't know, I just feel like there's not a lot of moments in life where you get to experience this collective joy. Like, people are happy at concerts. This was on a whole nother level. And this is a song that Vivian loves. There's a couple lines I'm going to call out. There's a lyric that says, we can keep the Christmas lights up till January. This is our place. We make the rules. And Vivian and I love Christmas like crazy on steroids. And so we just love that line because we're just like, we make the rules however we want to keep our decorations up and all of that. And then there's a line that she sings that says, can I go where you go? Can we always be this close? And that just reminds me of Vivian because that's how I feel about her. And I have a video of her and I singing this song with our eyes closed, and we're just screaming it out with all of these thousands of people. And this song brings me joy and sadness, at the same time, and pride. And yeah, it's a great song. And I wholeheartedly am a Swiftie now after experiencing what that woman does, for her fans.
Vivian's 10 now. How old was she in this video that you just
So
described?
she was right between 6 and 7. Still a little young, but like all in. We had our sequined outfits on, we had all the bracelets. And I have so many pictures and videos of her, of just this, like, a joy on her face that I had never seen or experienced before. And it was just the best.
And from my perspective, what a gift that this experience, the Eras Tour, Taylor Swift, like the production crew, everybody that put that on there in that stadium,
Yeah.
what a gift that
Yeah.
was to you. Because like you said, a joy that you've never seen. How else could you get that emotion out of your 6-year-old? And how
Yeah.
amazing it is that you have this experience while she's this young, and
Exactly.
she has many more years in your house, and you've built a relationship with that. That's part of the foundation of your relationship and her experience with you.
Yep.
May we all have those experiences with our
I
loved
know.
ones, with our kids, with our parents, with our like with whoever,
Absolutely.
and for maybe you and I, it's music that can bring those connections together. But may we all find that space with people that we love, that we can create a moment where we pause and we
Yeah.
take a photo or
Yeah.
video, and it's like, this is unbridled, unfiltered, purest
Yes.
joy in its purest form.
Joy.
And I wish I was there. I wish I was there. But
I
listening to
mean,
this song,
even
hearing
if
that
people don't
story,
think they like her, that experience was very unique. And I've been to a lot of shows, but never a concert like that.
How did she feel about it?
Oh, she's always just like, I hope she comes again. I hope we
Mm,
can see her again. And that actually set off something in Vivian where she liked music already, but then she really decided, she wanted to start singing.
mm.
And she's sang in her talent shows, and she's so interesting. She will watch hours of like Taylor Swift videos or performances, or the documentary about the Eras, and she'll like study it,
Hmm.
because I think there's something that's like, this person is not your average pop star. Like there's just so much to her. And so Vivian sort of like studied her.
And that I'm sure that you're proud of that. I
Oh
would
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're proud of that. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot
100%.
of people that she can study and learn,
Oh,
and a lot of
please.
great people, and
Yep,
maybe a lot of not so great people that she can study and learn, depending on how you want to raise her and who you hope she becomes. But it sounds like she has
absolutely.
found somebody that she's connected with on some level different than
Yeah.
you're connecting with the music. What I love and what I'm hearing is your daughter has connected with Taylor Swift and her music. Taylor Swift has allowed you to connect to your daughter.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
what, and if Taylor, if you're listening, thank you.
Which she should be listening
She
to
should be
Mel's,
listening to
but
Mel's Diner. Yeah. But
there's a quote out there that's like, and I'm not going to do it justice, but it's something like, be in wonder of what your kids are in wonder about, or like, if your
wow.
kids are interested, follow it, right? Because I think sometimes parents are just like, I don't listen to Taylor Swift, but it's like, well, it brings you joy, so let me see if I can find a way for it to, to connect, or just show you that I'm interested in something that you're interested in.
And because that's what she wants. She wants,
Yeah.
well, I'm only assuming, but I know my own
Yeah, she
kids. They
does.
want to be seen. They want to be heard and seen for who they
Absolutely.
are. And when
Yeah,
they're becoming these amazing humans, we should be like their biggest fans, So,
exactly.
Heather, so that story reminds me, or actually what you said about supporting what your kids support or being into what your kids, can you say that again?
Be in wonder of what your kids are in wonder of.
Be in wonder of what your kids are in wonder of. Now, if it's music, it
Hmm.
makes me think of this movie that I saw, probably the greatest movie I've ever seen on an airplane. And I don't want to take your
Oh,
stories, but
no.
I encourage, if you're listening to this podcast, you might really enjoy this film. It's called The Music Never Stopped. Have you seen this movie?
I'm pretty sure I have.
Excellent. I don't know very many people that have seen it, but it's a father and a son relationship about music and how he
Yep.
loved his music and he rejected his kids' music in the 60s and their relationship. It's an incredible film about parental relationships, about music, about our personal relationship with music. Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of. And I feel like what that film is trying to portray, or maybe what it's trying to show is exactly what you're experiencing. Really exactly what you're doing as a mom, of like supporting your daughter and the music that she's passionate about. So
Yeah. I don't have any way to tell, it's not my place to tell her what she should or shouldn't listen to. I want her to listen to stuff that speaks to her. Obviously, I want it to be like appropriate, for her age, but
yeah.
still, I have a different view of music than maybe I was given when I was growing up, because I realize how important it is, and I want her to have that experience.
You don't have to answer this question, but did you feel supported in the music that you liked as a teenager?
No, no. And it was very, like, a lot of people have probably had this experience growing up in like maybe a more conservative church, which is just like, this is the music you're supposed to listen to, and this is the bad music. I didn't have a lot of freedom, so I didn't really know what music was even out there.
Oh, so you didn't listen to the quote unquote bad
You
music.
know, I did listen to some, but not until I was like a lot older, because I was also very much like a rule follower. So if I wasn't supposed to listen to it, I didn't, until I got older and was like, oh, maybe I'll buy this like Creed CD or like 311, like whatever random things we were listening to. Um, but I definitely wasn't in a place where I was like getting to explore what's the music that Heather likes.
And what I love about Lover, or this, song Lover by Taylor Swift for you, is it's almost like from what I'm hearing and from my perspective, and maybe this isn't how you feel about it, but for me, it's like a metaphor for you just being a really great mom, you know? And
Oh,
that's not what
I
the song's
hope.
about. Well,
Yeah.
maybe for the Christmas lights thing, whether
Yeah.
whoever Taylor's or the speaker of the song is saying, this is we make the rules. Well, I guess it's her lover, honest. But aside from what Taylor wrote the song about, or what the lyrics are like, literally about, it represents you and Vivian, you and your daughter's relationship in a, as an art form, it represents that, not as a literal form. Anyway, you know what I think you know what I'm saying, but it's
Yeah, and
incredible.
I love that about music because I think if I were an artist, I would have written a song for a reason and maybe it would resonate with people, but I'd also be really happy if people were like, this is what the song means to me or what I get from it. So when I hear, can I go where you go? Can we always be this close? I don't think of like a boyfriend. I think of like my daughter. I hope I want to go where she goes. I want to be
Mm.
close with her always.
It's like I hope that she feels the same way. I imagine
Yeah.
that's how you feel too. It's like, and you have this
Yes.
memory in her favorite belting out this video. Again, as we listen to this song after these our conversation here in the list in the jukebox playlist that's here,
Yeah.
may we hear that song now and take it like, who's the person I want to leave Christmas lights up with? Who's the person that
Yeah.
where you go, I want to be, I want to go. And
Yep.
uh
Yep.
I think it's really special. Yeah, just this mother-daughter relationship that you have, and this what this song represents to you guys. I hope we can all connect with that. And if you're listening to this and you cannot connect, maybe with a parent in that way, I hope that you have somebody in your life, whether it is a
Yeah.
partner or a spouse or a sibling or a friend that you can just connect with on that level.
Exactly.
Um, so anyway, that what a just a I'm gonna say like a token or a statue or like a pillar of like just beautiful, healthy, wonderful relationship, that at least you have with your daughter, and I hope we all have that with somebody in our
Yeah,
life. So thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and thank you, Miss Swift, for
Thank you,
writing that.
Taylor, for
Yes.
bringing us all together.
Okay, so we got two more songs, I believe, that you picked. So what is your track number 6?
So my next song is Glory Strums by His Golden Messenger. So if there was probably any song that was like my life song, I would say this is it. I love this song so much I got it tattooed on my arm. So I'll share a little bit. So my husband Tim and I found his, I don't remember how many years ago, saw him in concert. And like a lot of artists, once you see someone in concert and you have a good experience, you're like, okay, like I like them. And now I'm like, I like them on steroids because I've seen them live. And MC Taylor, the lead singer, is such an amazing songwriter and lyricist and just like general awesome human being. And his band is so killer, like such great musicians. So people should go and see them just to experience like musicianship on that kind of a level. I know why he wrote this song. I think it's based off a book, something called The Lonely Line of Work of a Long Distance Runner. For me, this song is really all about the lyrics. I'm just going to call it a couple lines because I think they're worth it, and then I'll kind of share how I feel about it. But he starts out in the field looking for silver linings. Just a little taste is so hard to find. You can try and find a job, try and understand numbers in the lonely line of work of a long distance runner. And when I hear those lyrics, I just think, man, isn't that like life sometimes? Like you're just out there hustling, you're going to work, you're doing the things, and you're the long distance runner because that's what life is, right? Like it's this race and we're all running it and you've got to think the long game and it's a lot sometimes. And the next line is know that there's good in it. Why is it such a hard time? If I can feel it, wait till the daylight. I just love that because I feel like that a lot. I think especially right now the world feels a little bit heavy and I think sometimes you have to go and you have to seek out joy because I know sometimes I think, why is this such a hard time? But if I just wait, like wait till daylight, it'll be a new day. And so it kind of reminds me that like the Glory Strums title is like there's always something going on behind the scenes. For me, it might be like my faith in God. For someone else, it might be something else. But like, there's something in the background that's moving us, helping us, making life better, different, worthwhile. I don't know what it is, but it just reminds me that like, there's something that's behind me that's moving me. And that's like the glory strumming like on a guitar is how I see those lyrics. So this song is just deeply meaningful for me. I listen to it multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times a day. I never, ever get tired of it. I'm so always moved by MC's lyrics.
Thank you.
Sorry, that was a lot,
No,
everyone. I'm so
please.
sorry. I was really
We
rambling.
listen. I might start a separate podcast just on His Golden Messenger
Totally. Yes, let's do it.
because I agree with everything you said. And I want to come back to the song, but I feel like people should know. Like His just dropped a new record last week, and the title track, I'm People. And to me, the best line in that song is nobody makes it alone.
Nobody makes it alone.
Nobody makes it alone.
Right.
We're all waiting for the daylight, or
Yep.
some of us are in the daylight, some of us are
Yeah.
waiting for the daylight. It does, it's whenever you're listening to this, you may be in darkness, you may be in light, whatever you're in, we're all in different spaces, but the truth is we're not alone.
Exactly.
No matter where we're at, we're not alone. So I want to get back to this song, but yes, you're 100%. The lyrics, MC Taylor's writing, his lyricist, he writes poetry. It's just, I'm jealous of your tattoo. What is your tattoo? Is it a picture? Is it words?
No, it's just really simple letters, and it just says Glory Strums, and it's right on my wrist. So I see it all day long. And I love when people ask me about it because I'm like, yes, let me tell you all about this, things that you don't even care about. And it's just a reminder, that's like how I see a lot of my tattoos, is just like a reminder of something that is important to me,
And the sound of this song, it is very much a very kind of like this droning rhythm, but it's beautiful. It's very some atmospheric in a way.
Absolutely.
It is. I love what you said. I've never thought of that before. Of like the strumming in the background, the thing, like the engine of your Toyota car down the Georgia mountain. It's the thing that's driving, the thing that you don't always see, but it is there, and
exactly.
And if it's faith.
Yep.
It's a lot of time invisible faith, a belief in something, a mantra, whatever you cling to, that hope, I guess, is what we can say. The hope that is strumming in the background, the glory of hope. And I had a conversation with friends recently about how hope may just be the greatest thing that we can have, and the greatest gift we can give to each other, because without hope, I mean,
that's it.
That's right. And this hope of whatever we're hoping in, or whatever we find. I love what you said, Heather. And
thank you.
I just want to rephrase what you said, because I think it's so important. Of whatever we are putting our hope in, it's there.
It's there.
It's there. And it's, sometimes maybe we forget about it. Maybe it's quiet, maybe it's loud, but it's there. Yep. It's driving us. And you know what? That song means something to me, because I'm such a big fan of this artist as well. But that it now has a new meaning for me. So I want to thank you, Heather.
I love that.
I will never forget what you just said.
And
that's incredible. I'm going to think about that for
stew
for
on
a long
it's
time.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I think you have one more song.
So I thought I would end with, I keep listening to podcasts where people keep asking, what's saving your life right now? What's saving you? And so I thought, what music is saving me right now? There's been like this resurgence of artists that are bringing back like kind of a 60s doo-wop funk soul vibe. And it's
which we are all thankful for.
Yes. And it's interesting because I realized when I was looking at my playlist, I'm like, oh, I'm ending with what I started with, which shows how much that kind of that vibe of like Motown is just kind of a part of me, because this music is really similar. And so there's been a couple of artists I've been listening to that are playing this style. And it's honestly, it's just music I'm turning on because I'm trying to seek some joy, and just like fill my life with that. And so this Jalen Naganda is just this really, really cool artist. And this song, Just As Long As We're Together, also reminds me like my family and I, like if we're together, things are okay. And so, I just think this is a really interesting genre of music that's like popular right now. And so I just thought I'm going to end on like a really kind of joyful note.
When I listened to it, I was struck. Well, it was a first listen for me, but I was struck by kind of the repetitive lyrics that he
Yeah.
has. And I want to come back to what you just said about how you're kind of ending where you're starting. But what does the song say? It's
It
like
says, just as long as we're together, there is no place or time.
there is no place or time.
And
Yeah.
I think, if I were, I don't know, I mean, I don't write music, but if I were to be repetitive, which repetitiveness drives my husband crazy, but I think sometimes the repetitiveness is like an artist is trying to say, hey, I want you to like really hear these lyrics.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
people when you're with people you love, whether it's your family or your friends, and you're having like that sweet time, there is no place or time, right? You're lost in that moment. And I think that's what I feel when I listen to this song. I'm just like, I'm driving to work and the sunroof is open. And I'm just kind of like, I'm lost.
And I think it's
Yeah.
interesting because you said, I mean, because it's a modern
Yeah.
soul. I would think modern soul, you know, R&B song.
Yes.
But as you talked about your father and Motown in Philadelphia, and you're like, oh, I'm ending where I started. No, there is no time and place. Heather,
Yeah.
like this music, it's modern, it's contemporary, but it takes you to your childhood, your
Yes.
father, his, like that
Yeah.
power of this music, and specifically this genre of music or this type of music or just the soul or the emotion that's in these instruments, in the notes, in the lyrics. It's tapping into what Mel's Diner is actually about. It's like how
Yeah.
these songs and these connections that we have with people and the connections we have with music and it takes away the time, it takes away the play. You're not
Yes.
a child, you're you mentioned that you were almost turning 50. Like this is, yeah, I think that's so incredible, so powerful. And
Hmm.
I don't think you're starting where you ended. I think we're right where we need to be because there's
Yeah.
no time or place, it's
I love that.
Heather, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. This is so awesome.
Well, we're going to listen to these songs. And as we end your selections, whether we listen to this immediately or we listen to this next week or we listen to this interview and then like 2 hours later we listen to your songs, like we're going to be together, you and
Yeah.
I and the listeners, and we have your stories. And now we're going to hear these songs through your voice and through your stories. And
I love that.
we're going to be together. And guess what? You've just given us a gift of, no time and place. We're going to be in a car driving down a Georgia mountain with you,
Love it.
listening to Def Leppard. We're all, we may be separated, but we're all together, and
We're
there's
all
something
together.
behind us just pushing us forward. Maybe not forward, not, forward, but also forward together, and hopefully
Yes.
closer together, closer to
Absolutely.
the ones we love, closer to our children and our parents and our friends and the people that we love that are still with us, and even the people that are not with us anymore. Just allowing, having this music to allow us to build these connections.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And Heather, you've really helped us do that today. So I just want to
Yay.
thank you so much for coming in. And
Thanks for having me.
and I'm afraid your scrambled eggs are cold, but
It's
that's
okay. It was worth
okay.
it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Well, I will get us some fresh coffee, make some new eggs, fresh eggs. But Heather, it has been such a joy. The joy of the music that's in your house. Yeah, may we all,
All spirit.
find that.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
So thank you, Heather.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Heather, for joining me today at Mel's Diner. I had such a blast hanging out with you today, talking about these incredible songs that you've chosen. Thank you so much for sharing those stories. And I cannot wait to listen to these songs again with these amazing stories in mind, especially that Def Leppard song. I can't wait to get in my car. It's not a white Toyota Tercel, but regardless, I think Hysteria is going to take us there to that Georgia mountain. So thank you so much, Heather. What an honor. But here on Mel's Diner, our jukebox playlists, we go to 10 songs every playlist. So Heather gave us 7 amazing songs. So in order to round it out, I'm going to give you 3 songs to round out this week's playlist. So track number 8, and I should say all of these songs I've picked, based off of the conversation with Heather or in honor of you, Heather. So track number 8 is a War on Drugs track from their 2014 album, Lost in the Dream. I'm going to be playing An Ocean in Between the Waves. So Heather, you and I, we talked about it. We have a shared love for His Golden Messengers music. We also have a shared love for the War on Drugs music. I know you love this band maybe more than I do, but this track is phenomenal. This album is just incredible. An Ocean in Between the Waves by the War on Drugs. This one reminds me of you, Heather. Track number 9. Heather talked about this amazing contemporary neo soul Motown sound. I think nobody does it better than Coal Mine Records out of Ohio. So here's a Coal Mine Records artist, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. This song, Better Things, from her 2010 album, I Learned the Hard Way, is phenomenal. There is so much good music that sounds like it's from the 60s or the 70s, and this track you're like, if you just put this on, you wouldn't know that this came out in 2010. So Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, I mean, just an incredible musician, incredible voice. This goes right there with what Heather was talking about. And then the last song, I was trying to think like, okay, what artist kind of makes me think of Heather? And I've had the pleasure of knowing Heather, as we discussed, like personally and for many years. And I recently saw the Alabama Shakes. They came to our High Water Music Festival, which is a festival here that's held here in North Charleston every year. This is one of my favorite weekends of the year. And the Alabama Shakes was the headliners on the first night. So Brittany Howard, what a powerhouse of a musician, and just one of the coolest, artists that I really would hope to meet someday. And when I think of powerhouse female artists that really highly respect, I think of Heather McCoy. She falls in that list. So Brittany Howard with the Alabama Shakes. This is from her 2012 album, Boys and Girls. This is I Ain't the Same. And I think this is going to be a great way to close out this playlist, because Alabama Shakes is awesome. They're also in that kind of neo classical sound or neo soul sound. It's super cool. The Alabama Shakes blew me away at that show. It was phenomenal. That's our 10 songs made by and for our guest, Heather McCoy. So thank you so much, Heather. It was such an honor. Now, if you're listening and you would like to join me here at Mel's Diner and pick some songs from the Magic Jukebox, I would love it if you would do that. I would love to hear your stories and your songs. Feel free to reach out to me at melsdinerjukebox@gmail.com. We'll get in touch that way and figure out a way, if you're local, to meet up and talk and record our conversation, or if we're not local, we can do this right over the computer. So melsdinerjukebox@gmail.com. I'd love for anyone to join me. All are welcome, because we all have amazing stories, that these stories are worth sharing and worth hearing in order for us to build connections with each other. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It's been amazing. Enjoy the music. Peace. Thank you so much for visiting Mel's Diner today. We love serving you those very important stories and songs, and we really hope you become a regular. If you or someone you know would love to be on the show, please reach out to me. melsdinerjukebox@gmail.com. And a playlist of all the songs that were selected from the jukebox today can be found in a link in the show notes. And now, as we listen to each song through the lens of those amazing stories, we share in the connection that we just built through the power of great music and incredible people.